Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm kind of late getting this video out today, and the reason is I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning and I just said to myself, you know, there's got to be more people that from the SEC that are on YouTube that around the time that Hinman gave that Ethereum speech who have commented on it publicly besides the standard ones we know. Ran across a very interesting guy. His name's Robert Jackson. He was one of the SEC commissioners back when all this happened. And let me tell you what, if you have never watched any of my videos ever, today is the one you want to watch, because look, I believe the most significant thing that we are ever going to see, this is just my opinion, I believe the most significant thing we are ever going to see is when this SEC lawsuit goes away for the XRP price. That's what I believe. And let me tell you what, there has never been a video I've ever done that convinces me more that the SEC, one way or another, is going to have to fold, and this is going to have to end favorably for Ripple than this video right here. This video right here, wait till you see what I'm about to show you. And I'm going to show you, and the beautiful thing, it's not my words, it's their words. And you're going to get to hear, and I believe that they sent, and I'll show you in a minute. All right, first let's look at this real quick. I don't have a subscription to Forbes, and I'm not going to, but I do want to show you this from James Rule. Bankers issue seismic warning. Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Cardano, and XRP could replace the dollar. That's via Forbes. A poll of mostly banking executives found most think Bitcoin and digital assets could replace fiat currencies like the US dollar within the next 5 to 10 years. I don't think XRP is for the purpose of replacing the dollar. It's going to be a bridge, but it's going to be a big part of it, of being the bridge. It's not. I don't think it's for the purpose of replacing the dollar. Okay, now this was an interesting tweet right here from this guy Frank. Let me see. I do follow him. No, I don't. Now I do. I have bought XRP. He's asking the SEC. I've bought XRP early 2018 and wasn't sure if I bought a security because there was no decision yet. So I asked the SEC, here are the answers to my concerns. Are they lying to me? This is from, I guess, October 14th, 2020. Thank you for the recent email to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. We appreciate the opportunity to review your additional concerns about Ripple XRP cryptocurrency. Please be advised the SEC has not issued a determination on whether the cryptocurrency XRP is a security. Whether a cryptocurrency is considered a security will depend on the characteristics and use of the cryptocurrency. As we have suggested, you may want to review Chairman Jay Clayton's statement. All right, so they're telling people, the people they're supposed to be protecting, this is how they protect them, is by sending them an email telling them that they haven't determined it. And if this is October 14th, the very next month, they turn around and sue the company Ripple. Okay? That's the SEC you're dealing with. Now, then James Phelan had put this out yesterday, I believe. Ripple files response to SEC's opposition to defendants' motion to compel the production of internal and interagency documents. And then he draws your attention to footnote 2. I want to show you. The SEC repeatedly mischaracterizes the deposition testimony from Mr. Hinman and Ripple's counsel's motion to strike non-responsive testimony. At his deposition, Mr. Hinman was asked about discussions concerning the application of the federal securities laws to digital assets. His response focused exclusively on XRP, but there was no motion to strike that response. Ripple's counsel then re-asked and about such discussions other than those concerning XRP, and Mr. Hinman again ignored the question and gave an answer that referred exclusively to XRP. In other words, Bill Hinman would not address their discussions that they had with things other than XRP, like Ethereum or Bitcoin. It's because he can't. And this thing, by the day, this thing stinks more and more. Now, let's go on to what I found this morning. Before I show you, I want to show you this. This is Brad Garlinghouse's tweet that he tweeted out. It was a few weeks ago, I think. In 2018, Bill Hinman said Ethereum isn't a security, and Jay Clayton agreed. But just remember the Hinman speech. It was June 2018 when Bill Hinman walked to the microphone, had the SEC logo behind him, and then and he at the beginning of the speech, this is not the official position of the SEC. This is just my opinion or whatever. Okay, that's what everybody's supposed to believe. That's what the judge has been told, is that was Bill Hinman's opinion. In fact, he said it under oath. Brad Garlinghouse says, but just weeks ago, Hinman filed a sworn affidavit in court saying the SEC still has not taken any position or expressed a view on Ethereum's status. So how is the market supposed to have clarity? All right. Well, I think what I've found today proves that they were expressing a view through Bill Hinman's speech. That the SEC decided that instead of writing rules, they were going to just do it through guidance. And his speech was part of that guidance, and I can prove it today because it's coming from an SEC chairman that was there at the time, not me. Here we go. Strap your butt in, folks, and listen.
Nothing in the nature of a cryptocurrency, the nature of the asset itself, that gives you pause.
By the way, this is Robert Jackson. He was a commissioner. This is on 6/25/2019. I'll start it again.
Nothing in the nature of a cryptocurrency, the nature of the asset itself, that gives you pause. It's the structure of the markets those assets are traded in, rather than features of the asset itself.
Well, that's exactly right. That's very fair, Rob. And let me add one more. About crypto in particular, the other question we face that is very challenging is this a security, and to what degree is it a security under the securities laws? And I think, I'll be honest, I think my colleagues have done a great job about this. The director of our division of corporation finance is a man named Bill Hinman, who did he gave a speech where he laid out, here's how we think about this. And gave us
Here's how we think about this, not my personal opinion. Here's how so this is a chairman that was there. This is one of the people, or a commissioner, one of the people that was there when he gave the speech, or at least after, who's been in the meetings with those people. He's telling you the truth here.
Principles that the market can follow in understanding. Here's how you know if you have a security or if you don't. Now, we haven't answered every particular question, but we've answered a lot. And I'll say one more thing about this. Early in this market, some lawyers out on the West Coast, in my view, got out ahead of their skis. They gave advice that these things were not securities. And candidly, my reaction as a lawyer and human was reading that advice. It was aggressive. As a result of that, the regulator has a job to do, which is to say to the bar, you know the principles here, you know the rules of the game, and you should apply them carefully and faithfully to the advice you're giving. And I think Hinman's speech and the chairman's work in this has moved the market forward a great deal.
So it literally has moved the market forward. This is from someone at the SEC. Are you freaking kidding me? Media, where are you at? CNN, CNBC, Fox Business, Julia Chatterley, Mario Bartiromo, where are you at? This is BS right here. They literally went into a courtroom and said that William Hinman was only giving his personal view. Wait till you see what else I have for you, because we ain't finished yet by a long shot. By the time you get done watching this man right here speak, you should be furious that this organization is funded on taxpayer money, and they aren't telling the truth, even in a courtroom. Listen.
Even before I got on the commission, Jay Clayton stamped that out. And he came forward and said, if you want to raise money on an ICO basis, you're almost certainly going to have to comply with the securities laws, and here's how that looks. And then we started digging into the harder questions about how do the securities laws apply, for example, to cryptocurrencies. Are they likely to be securities when they're first issued, or when they're decentralized? Will there be a different view? And I think Bill Hinman gave a terrific speech last fall where he outlined some of those principles and did a good job guiding the market.
Did a good job guiding the market. This guy was put out there to guide the freaking market. And he, in an affidavit, says it was just his personal opinion. In my next video, you're going to find out that was the plan.
Now, my guess is a lot of people on this call think the SEC could do even better in providing more guidance in this area. And let me say something about that. I hear you, and I don't think you're wrong, but it is very...
Now he's telling you that Gary Gensler said this is very clear. He's saying, no, it's not very clear.
Very difficult for the government to keep up with a market that's changing at the speed that market is changing. And that's particularly true when we have some folks on the commission right now who are very hesitant about the use of guidance. In other words, we've got a lot of people who are not so sure that the staff should be providing informal views or guidance to folks in the way that's sometimes necessary to keep up with a fast-moving market.
So he's just told you that their plan all along was to use this vagary to put out to affect the markets. It was the plan.
And Tom, let me promise you something. If we had passed a rule on cryptocurrency or on ICOs or what have you,
I'd have his butt. I would have this guy's. I don't know if they can still do depositions, but I would have his butt in a deposition. Say, if I was Ripple's attorneys, I'd say, well, tell me more about your meetings that you had with your colleagues about what your strategy was. But they had a strategy. It's right here.
In 2017 or 2018, that rule would have been obsolete the day we voted on, because that market is simply moving too fast for people to believe that that a rulemaking process could keep up with it. So my own view is that the SEC has done a very good job in that area, and that market now has a lot more depth and liquidity and price discovery than it did when I was on the commission. And I think that we'll begin to move in a direction where the commission will provide more clear views to the market about what that space should look like.
So again, he tells you right there that it's not clear, not the way Gary Gensler says it is. Now, wait till you see this, because he's going to spell out what the SEC's strategy was, and that Hinman and his speech was directly a part of that strategy right here.
The most helpful thing, I think, our director of corporation finance, Bill Hinman, gave a speech about a year and a half ago that describes this. You might know the speech I have in mind. That's it. So the question is, where do we draw that line? And how we test and the guidance we put out in this area has informed that difference. Now, one more thing. You mentioned cryptocurrency. What's important about that is to realize that the way that cryptocurrency works, when it is, and this is what Bill Hinman's speech says, so I'm not adding too much, depends fundamentally on how centralized or decentralized the underlying network is that supports that currency. And that's also true in the ICO context. Bill has said a lot about that, about ways that practitioners can look in that area and get a sense for whether or not we should think of that as a security. And I point people to that speech.
So here's an SEC, one of the commissioners, and he points people for guidance to Bill Hinman's speech. That's what he just said.
You think we've been clear enough about that? Yeah.
So now he asks if we've been clear. Gary Gensler says it's very clear. And the guy's answer is no. Now he's going to address that.
Yeah, I expected you to say that. Now let me ask you this. No.
He expected he would say that because he knows it's not clear.
I've heard that a lot. What could we do that would be more clear? I want to be clear because a lot of people have come in and asked us for more guidance on this.
Yeah. So in other words, he wants to be clear because a lot of people are coming in telling him it's not clear.
It's not that we don't want to be, I won't speak for my colleagues, not that I don't want to be responsive. It's that I worry that if we make a rule today, it will make a lot less sense to the marketplace in 6 months in this space.
He's laying out what their strategy was right here.
Do you see what I'm worried about? And for better or for worse, the machinery of the bureaucracy of the U.S. government works in a fashion where if I were to pitch a rule and know exactly what it was, exactly what we, if you and I could get a beer and agree what the rule should be, by the time it became law, it'd be a year later. And by that time, the ground will have moved underneath us. So if you sense, at least from my point of view, wanting to give this some time to figure out and do it by guidance as opposed to rule, that's what's driving us.
So he tells you right there that they made a decision to use guidance instead of creating rules. And he tells you in all three of those things that part of that guidance was what Bill Hinman said, which in my opinion makes this right here a freaking lie in a courtroom, because he said a sworn affidavit in court by Bill Hinman saying the SEC still has not taken any position or expressed a view. Well, if they had as a strategy to provide guidance, which that guy said included Bill Hinman, he points people to Hinman's speech. If they chose, instead of making rules, to provide guidance, that was expressing the view from the SEC. And they were using Hinman to do it. And I think the proof is right there in what I just showed you. And it's disgusting. And it ought to blow this freaking case out of the water. I'm no attorney. I'm just telling you what I think. Now, John Deaton retweeted one of these videos. He says, fair notice or market confusion. And I wanted to play you the very first part of this video with John Deaton. He's the guy that's filed the SEC class action lawsuit. This is his firm, Twitter feed, Crypto Law.
Welcome back to Crypto Law TV. I'm the founder and your host, John Deaton. Today's topic, the fair notice defense. How significant is it? Well, I would tell you that it's so significant that if Ripple was successful, it could end the SEC's terror on crypto. I call it terror on crypto. They would call it jurisdiction on crypto. And what the SEC did was they moved to strike Ripple's affirmative defense of fair notice. What that means is that they're making a motion to the court to say Ripple shouldn't even be allowed to argue this fair notice defense. And therefore, the court should strike it down, and therefore the judge or a potential jury would never hear these arguments being made by Ripple. And that is a very tough burden to overcome. So let's take a look.
All right, so I just wanted to show you that part. But look, make no mistake, I believe that these three videos that I found this morning, luckily I woke up at 5 this morning, I believe that these three videos by themselves literally destroy this SEC lawsuit. I really do. I believe they destroyed the SEC lawsuit. And I hope that Ripple gets them, and I hope the judge sees them, because there is no explaining this, in my opinion. I mean, of all the things I've found, this right here is more damning than anything. I mean, it's disgusting. Now, iTrustCapital tweeted this yesterday. If only the world knew how quickly crypto retirement accounts are being adopted. Hashtag crypto IRAs are going mainstream soon. I say it all the time. I think that iTrustCapital is going to be one of the biggest companies to come out of this whole crypto boom. And I have 2 accounts with them. They're one of my sponsors. But I would, if anybody is getting into crypto and you can open a Roth IRA, that's what I would do. Go in the description of my video. I've got the links to iTrustCapital. I've got a coupon for 1 month free. So go in there. If you're eligible to open a Roth IRA, go for it. You can just call those guys if you want to and tell them DAI sent you. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that I believe the SEC lawsuit is destroyed if these videos are used properly. That completely demolished. Thanks for listening.